I was watching all these YouTube channels and stuff like that, and people always have these like debates with each other and stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, so you're debating, but like they always have these rapid fire responses for all the topics they're talking about. And I'm like, is it okay just to say like when did it become not okay to just say, look, I'm not educated on that topic. I need to do some research. Like, I'm not qualified to answer that, or something like that. I mean, like, sometimes when you ask somebody a question, they need to carefully consider the like pros and cons of an answer and like legitimately take a minute or two to like collect their thoughts and be like, this is what I think about this topic. And like people don't do that anymore. Like they just have these rapid fire nonsense answers that like generalize the topic they're talking about but don't cover any actually specific details. Like I need numbers, I need dates, I need times, I need names of whatever study you're quoting or whatever. They don't list that. It's always just a very generic answer. And I noticed this and I'm like, do you even know the details of the answer you're giving? Because let me tell you, I hear a lot of fluff, but I don't hear any details. And I noticed that, and like these people just make this money off of just like debating and I'm not really a person who likes debates and things like that. I just like it when people get destroyed, and I think it's funny. A lot of times debates can be like really funny because people are just like unprepared and they look really dumb. And I just like honestly a lot of questions people ask these people, I would just like if I were them, I'm not qualified to answer that. I mean, I don't know. I'm here to talk about this. Why are we talking about that? And like I don't like politics to be honest. I don't like this day and age. I think people get too bent out of shape over political topics. And I think I think that when you're around people, the best thing to do is not talk about politics or religion. That's always been a rule in my life. It's just you don't talk about three things: politics, religion, or money. And generally, you'll get along with anybody if you don't talk about these three key topics: politics, religion, and money. Because everyone seems to have a very different opinion on them. If you don't talk about the three, you're fine. Talk about sports, whatever. But like I said, it's just people argue over the dumbest things, and the information that they give is so like generic. It's just like, have you done the research on your answer? I mean, because I'm thinking like 60 to 70% of the time, people go into these conversations unprepared and they just don't take a few minutes to come up with an answer. It's always like within 5 seconds, you have to have an answer. And that's not true. You can legitimately just say you're not educated on it. You don't know. You're not qualified to answer that. I mean, like, there's experts on everything, and you don't have to be an expert on anything. That's why I think it's just really sad these days that people don't kind of like take time to learn about a topic before they have a comment on it. And I've been really guilty of this myself. I will say, oh, it's like for instance, I always like say, oh, that Marvel movie's gonna be a flop and things like that. But then like you have to realize, you have to like educate yourself. How much did it cost to make the movie? Did the movie's cost and advertising cost more than what it made to say that it was a flop? And like, I mean, like, I don't know. It's just funny to see things failing sometimes, and that people like companies will pay to have advertisements put it out saying how well something is doing, and I'm like, you're just putting more money into the shredder doing this. And then I'm like, but are they really losing money on it? Because a lot of people don't realize that like when Disney has a really bad movie, they just use it as a tax write off. It's a loss. That means it's a tax credit. And they don't have to pay any taxes at the end of the year when they have a couple of massive tanking movies. You can always carry your losses forward. That's like 101 of like big business is if we have a terrible year where we lose billions of dollars, we can carry that loss forward and not pay taxes for like the next 5 years. And I think a lot of that is just like you're not like you can say a movie's a flop or you can say some topics stupid, but like there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that a lot of people aren't aware of. Like companies sometimes purposely take losses on things just to be able to like take the tax loss because then they can not have to pay taxes for like the next 10 years. It's all about business and finance and things like that. And like I was talking and touching on a bunch of different topics in this video, but like legitimately, I think the best thing you could do is just not talk about politics, religion, or finances, especially when you're in a relationship with a woman or things like that. Unless you're considering marriage, I just wouldn't bring up any of these topics. Or actually, even with your friends or whatever. It's just, it's not worth the arguments, okay? I mean, there's so much other stuff you could do. Just go to a freaking movie and hate on the movie if it sucks. That's really fun. All right, have a great day.